Hey, this is Joymahidul here. At first, if you like the video, please share it with your friends and your respected comments below here. For video clips, all credits go to the movie owners. We make which are
When
truly
did you get
hidden
the
gems to
chorus? I
entertain
designed it.
people.
I
This
think you
video
to be my
is
princess.
all
I love my
about
work.
explain the
I don't
movie
wanna life
from
stuck.
our own point of view. For the explanation, we have used most of the video clips for the
It's
movie
outside
for
this
the better
basement.
understand.
Starts right
Stay with
now.
us till the end. Enjoy the video. Please subscribe and follow. Turn on notification button.
Despite the fact that it is discretionary, if it's not too much trouble, show assuming you like or aversion the video. At the beginning of the film, we see a town. Everybody was moving when a woman named Vivian showed up. Her better half passed on in the no-so-distant past, and she has two little girls. Vivian is a voracious lady who showed her little girl how to dazzle rich young men. Beside that, there was a young lady in her storm cellar. She was really the girl of her subsequent spouse. Cinderella is the moniker given to her by her stepsisters. Cinderella's sewing is fantastic, and she thinks about beginning a business as a dressmaker. She has made a plan that she expects to fasten for herself. She safeguards a caterpillar from the bug and places it in a container. Cinderella's companions were three rodents. Cinderella then makes tea for her stepmother and sisters. Vivian reprimands her when she makes tea for them. She says you are pointless. Assuming that you will keep on doing these demonstrations, your better half will leave you after marriage. Cinderella gets back to the storm cellar being miserable. She sees the fantasy of her business and shop. A ruler named Robert is displayed in the following scene. A rich young lady was sitting before him. She was a princess and needs to get hitched to Prince Robert. She purposes him for marriage. She tells him, assuming we will get hitched, we will have numerous realms in our portion. With their assistance, we will overcome an ocean beast. Yet, Robert denies her for marriage, since he could do without this rich young lady. After it, there was a declaration in the town. The ruler is calling everybody. Cinderella is shown telling her mom, I need to sell my dress, on the lookout. Vivian prohibits her while saying, you are a young lady. A young lady shouldn't do this. She requests that Cinderella leave, and Cinderella returns to the cellar being miserable. The ruler was reproving his child Robert with his better half queen. That why he declined for wedding the rich young lady. They contend because of it. Robert says, I won't wed a young lady until I will go gaga for her. I could have done without any of the young ladies in the town. The ruler encourages you to wed and settle down. Everybody thinks you are reckless. They ridicule you. To be a ruler in the wake of getting hitched, your sister will get the crown. Robert's sister is shown paying attention to them while remaining behind the composition. It is found here Robert's sister is astute and has numerous thoughts. With her thoughts, she needs to make this realm pleasant. Presently, in light of the fact that she was a young lady, so none pays attention to her. Everybody makes her calm constantly. The ruler says, we are setting up a dance party for you to look for a young lady. Every one of the townspeople show up to hear their declaration. The moving band is shown moving. The residents were seeing from standing disadvantage. Cinderella was likewise among them and couldn't see anything. She sits on the king's sculpture and sees this. The ruler reproves her on it. However, Cinderella says, you ought to make anything for the short uplifted young ladies like us, so we can likewise see what's going on in front. Robert falls head over heels from the beginning while at the same time seeing Cinderella. After it, they begin moving, yet Cinderella leaves. Robert tells his dad, I am prepared for the dance party. The condition is every one of the young ladies of the town will come at it either rich or poor. The ruler concurs with Robert. Afterward, Robert moves looking for Cinderella, changing his get-up as poor. Cinderella was likewise in the market to sell her dress. Cinderella shows the dress to somebody and he thinks she has taken this. After it, they ridicule her, yet Robert shows up and respects Cinderella's dress. He gets some information about it. Cinderella says, "I will sell this dress as a trade-off for 5 coins. There is my mom's brooch on this dress." Robert gets consents to purchase the dress. He offers Cinderella 15 coins rather than 5 as a trade-off. In the interim, there was the dance party's declaration. They were approached to come to the dance party. Cinderella appears to be this bizarre that Robert is arranging a dance party for getting hitched. Cinderella shares with Robert the sovereign as an imprudent human. His dad actually chastens him. In any case, Robert's sister is savvy. Robert asks her, "Will you hit up the dance party?" Cinderella denies this and says, "I don't have confidence in this. This isn't so much for me." To cause her to concur, Robert says, "I will go there and the rich individuals will likewise come. With their assistance, you can set your business and I'll help you in gathering them." Hearing this, Cinderella gets consents to hit up the dance party. With the cash given to her by Robert, she buys the textures. After it, she attempts to plan the dress arriving at home. Because of the strain, she could do nothing. After certain days, she makes a lovely dress and the party day likewise shows up. Vivian prepares her little girls. So they will actually want to intrigue a ruler going there. Their conditions will grade after wed. Cinderella additionally shows up while wearing the dress that she made. She was looking alluring in it. Vivian says you can't hit up the dance party in light of the fact that the young ladies whose relationships are fixed can't. Cinderella is shocked, and Vivian illuminates a man who has asked about her motivation. "I have fixed your marriage." That man was a vendor. He frequently comes to their home. Cinderella and her sisters could do without him. Hearing it, Cinderella says, "My future relies upon this dance party, be that as it may." Vivian tosses the dark ink on her dress. Her dress gets chaotic because of it. Cinderella begins sobbing. Being discouraged, she moves into the cellar and starts singing. Around evening time, her companions the rodents see the caterpillar whom Cinderella saved. It has been changed into a butterfly. Going to Cinderella, the butterfly changes into a fairy godmother. Divine Helper tells Cinderella, "I can help you to hit up the dance party." She does wizardry on Cinderella and the dress turns out to be okay. Her dress turns out to be more appealing. Cinderella becomes cheerful seeing this, and she additionally makes Cinderella wear shoes. The shoes weren't fit and she was unable to walk appropriately. In any case, because of the fairy godmother's enchantment, she effectively strolls wearing those shoes. The Divine Helper makes a carriage of the crate for Cinderella. She makes the rodent Cinderell's worker. Cinderella tells Fairy Guardian, "Assuming that Vivian will see me there, she will toss me out of the house. Since she has cautioned me this." Divine Helper does sorcery on her and says none will remember you there. With the exception of Sovereign Robert, Divine Helper cautions her the enchanted will be finished at 12 p.m. You need to return before 12 p.m. After it, Cinderella moves to the dance party. The young ladies were moving for Robert, however he cares very little about anybody. Since he adores Cinderella, Cinderella shows up and slams into Vivian. She is sorry to Cinderella and respects her shoes. Be that as it may, she doesn't perceive Cinderella. After it, Cinderella moves to the gallery. From that point, she meets a woman who loves Cinderella's dress. At the point when the woman finds Cinderella has planned it herself, she says, "I am looking for an architect for myself. Since I used to go to this sort of gatherings, I could do without my dresses." The woman requests that Cinderella show her plans. During this, Robert tells the princesses, "The young lady whom I love, I didn't see her here today." In the interim, Cinderella sees Robert. An instrument falls slamming into his hand. The commotion was made because of it, everybody sees him. After it, Robert calls Cinderella and acquainted her with everybody. Cinderella gets astounded subsequent to realizing Robert is really a ruler. After it, Robert requests that his sister come before everybody. Robert's sister shows her dress to everybody. It was the dress Robert purchased from Cinderella. An exquisite second is displayed here, since ruler Robert and Cinderella were moving. They get isolated from everybody and go to a room. Robert purposes Cinderella for marriage. Yet, Cinderella rejects him. She says, "I need to work on something for myself." She would rather not be detained in the royal residence moving from the storm cellar. She was going to leave, however at that point she embraces Robert. Cinderella sees the watch, it was 12 feet o'clock, the wizardry was going to end. That is the reason Cinderella runs briskly. They come to the dance party's place. The ruler shares with everybody this young lady Cinderella as Robert's better half. Cinderella runs and a watchman of the castle pursues Cinderella. Cinderella tosses her show towards him, then she hastily gets on her carriage. Moving from the way, her carriage changes into the crate, her workers likewise change their get-ups. They change into rodents. The ruler chides Robert. Robert shares with the king, "The young lady would rather not wed me, whom I need to get hitched." The lord ends up being enraged. He says, "Now you need to get hitched to a rich young lady. Presently it doesn't irritate me, it is possible that you love her or not. Marriage doesn't necessarily in all cases require love. People are once in a while compelled to wed for power." Robert should hesitantly consent to it. The ruler's better half queen ends up being irate and leaves. Cinderella is displayed in the following scene. She has made many plans for the time being to show it to the castle's woman. In the meantime, she hears Vivian is coming. She quickly sits down on the bed. She says, "I am sick." Vivian says while coming to her, "Cinderella, you should think that how horrible am I, dislike this all along. Sometime in the past I was wonderful. I had my better half and 2 girls, and I used to play the piano quite well. I needed to gain music from a music school. At the point when I returned following a month, I find that my better half has left me. Since he thinks a decent spouse never has an independent mind. From that point forward, I've come to accept that few out of every odd young lady ought to be this passionate." She tells Cinderella the previous young lady has left Robert. Presently Robert is going to wed a rich young lady. In the interim, a rodent tosses the Cinderella's shoe down. Seeing it, Vivian finds the yesterday young lady was, as a matter of fact, her girl, Cinderella. After it, Vivian shares with Cinderella, "You ought to get hitched to Robert, so our life will be cheerful." Cinderella says, "I rejected him." Hearing it, Vivian says, "So prepare to go with the seller. I will send you today with the seller." The lord goes to his significant other queen since she was irate. She wasn't conversing with him appropriately. She tells him, "In the past you sing for me before the palace. You express your adoration, however you are changed in the wake of being a king. What precisely is a king? Aside from this, you have no relationship." Saying this, the sovereign leaves and the ruler calls Robert. Robert says, "Could we at any point talk like dad and child or not?" The lord was a severe man. The king restricts him to get hitched to a rich young lady. He says while showing him Cinderella's show to look for the young lady with its assistance afterward, get hitched to her. Cinderella prepares to go with the vendor. They leave and Robert was additionally looking for Cinderella. Like previously, the lord goes outside the palace and communicates his affection for the sovereign. Cinderella additionally acquires her rodent companions, her truck. With their assistance, she diverts everybody and attempts to go to the royal residence's woman while bouncing from the truck. Robert additionally shows up as she was running. He tells Cinderella that I love you. I need to consume my time on earth with you. You gave urged me to carry on with my life as I need. Cinderella requests that Robert take her to the royal residence's woman. They go to the woman and she loves Cinderella's plans. She requests that Cinderella go with her. Following that, Robert and Cinderella go to the king, who perceives Cinderella. She is the young lady who sat on the sculpture. Robert says I would rather not be a lord. The ruler says okay, I will give your place to your sister. She will be the following sovereign after your mom. Hearing it, Robert's sister becomes blissful. Then it was reported before all. Robert's sister informs everybody concerning Cinderella. She returns her mom's brooch to Cinderella. Following that, everybody is demonstrated to blissful and dance. Cinderella's dance finishes up the film. The movie end here. Thanks for watching. See you next recap.